Hi, and welcome to the Revive, Thrive, and Optimize podcast. I'm Billy Weiss, compounding pharmacist and health and wellness expert. I'm excited today, have producer Mike behind the scenes, and my guest is Lydia for the second time, right, Lydia?
That's right, second
you
time.
may be our first repeat guest.
Yay!
So, yeah. So, that's a special honor there
It
to
is.
have you twice.
It is.
So, how have you been?
Fabulous.
How long has it been since you've been on the show? I can't remember.
It was back in the fall. We're maybe October,
Okay.
November.
So it's been
It's
several
It
months.
has been.
Then.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, since then, you
Mhm.
had already started doing what I'll call the Opti program.
Right, we did. We started that in July.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you had really good results.
We did.
And then in January, you and Bill attended the
Summit.
OptiU Wellness Summit. So tell me about that.
It's great.
What were your experiences? What do you think? What did you learn? I know you invited friends.
We did. A lot of takeaways. The gut health. We had began our journey back in July
Mhm.
with leaky guts and just not as healthy as we needed to be. And your information kind of connected a lot of dots because the gut is the second brain. And all the information that we were given, mainly about the inflammation and insulin. And one thing that stuck out was living an insulin-controlled life. And you can do it through diet and exercise and supplements and the right water and rest, all of your pillars. And it really works.
So, yeah, it does really work.
But it's not a quick fix. It's not a pill you take one day. It's not a shot you take one day. It's not a diet. It is a lifestyle.
Right.
And when you buy into the lifestyle and you understand that, like you explained, your body's a symphony. And when all the different things are working right, then it works right. To be real simple.
Yeah, and you feel good, right?
Yeah. You feel like you're supposed to feel.
Right. Yeah, which so many people today don't feel that way because they just think the way they feel is normal, which is not normal to be tired.
Right.
And some of them don't even realize they're tired, Lydia, that I run into.
They don't.
Until they start doing like maybe just even the foundational four. And then they go, oh my gosh, I have better energy. I sleep better. My stomach's better, whatever, right?
And they don't.
They just think that was their normal state.
Or they're told, well, you're getting older.
Right.
Well, you're going to gain weight. You're not going to feel as healthy. You're not going to feel as good. And that's not true.
Right. Right. So you made some changes to your lifestyle, obviously, starting in July. So I have another couple who've done really, really well. I believe the wife has lost 18 pounds and the husband's lost close to that since January. That's when they started, was at the summit. And one of the things they keep telling me and Beth, we talk to them pretty regular, is that they find this is not hard, which is what I've been telling them for 35 years. And so they finally experienced it. So would you say that it's hard? Are you suffering in any way? Are you really missing anything that you've given up?
I'm not missing the aches and pains.
Right.
I'm not missing the bloating that I felt. I'm not missing any of the things that I thought I had to have. We eliminated alcohol and caffeine. We eliminated gluten. We hadn't used seed oils, but we made sure we were reading the labels of what I call the hidden seed oils. It wasn't that bottle that was on your counter or in your cabinet. It's the ingredients on the back of the package. So suffering? No. Now, was it hard? My drug of choice was sugar. And that was the hardest thing to kind of get away from because of the effects it has in your body. I didn't realize I was addicted to sugar as much as I was. And a lot of people are and really don't realize it.
Yeah.
And I had cheat days. I mean, I would go back and there's birthday parties and there's holidays and there's special events. But my body rebounds right back to feeling better.
Right.
And one of the things that I think you really made me understand more is feeling optimal, not normal. And even on your blood labs, when you went over the N-bodies and you talked about how to read the N-bodies, and that was an eye-opener.
Yeah.
From the first one that I did to the one in January. Wow.
Yeah.
That was hard to read the first time. And the changes that you go through.
Yeah.
And it's not anything but just understanding that being the CEO of your health, like you've got plastered on your wall, that's what matters. But to answer your question, it's not hard. It's just getting your mind right and understanding this is what's best for you.
Yeah, and once you do it, I think once you do it for long enough, and we talk about some of the science in the class, but it just becomes your new norm.
It is.
So it's harder not to do it, is what I always tell people. And then your body stays feeling good. And we do talk about, right, in the class, how you should have those celebration birthdays, Christmas, whatever, but it's got to be short and right back to the plan. And you can get away with that. It's when it's every day or every week or, 2 times a week. Then it becomes 3 times a week, like we talked about, right? And it's just every day again.
It does.
So, yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, and you don't have to name anybody, but some of the people I know that were there, you had invited. And so what was their experience for their investment?
They were very amazed at the amount of information. They were very amazed at the breaking or the broken system that we have with our medical community. I have one friend who has gone off all of her medications, and her doctor requested, I'd like to see the list of supplements that you're taking. And she gave them to him and presented the ingredients and the level of testing that you do. And the doctor was like, well, looks like you're doing the right thing. And she's off her medicines now and feeling great.
Yeah. Well, that's really good. So what were her major complaints when she came to the...
She had fibromyalgia.
Okay.
She had some other health issues. I'm not really sure what they are, but she just kind of went cold turkey.
So her fibromyalgia pain is gone. Because I explain exactly what fibromyalgia is and how to correct it. So obviously she took that and ran with it.
And I've got 5 more friends that are doing the whey protein shakes.
Okay, good.
And so they're into that. It's like, this is good stuff. And we kind of add some things to ours. We throw in an avocado, a couple eggs. We use kefir. And it makes it just like a friend of mine, she came for lunch the other day. She said, I'll come if you'll make me a shake.
Okay.
I said, okay. She's like, this is like a milkshake. I'm like, yeah, it's really good.
So now when you say you use kefir, you put some kefir and then use the raw milk, or you tell me?
No, it's 8 ounces of kefir.
You use 8 ounces of kefir, and that doesn't, I'll say, funk the taste up or anything.
It gives it a little, it's not real sweet, of course.
Right.
And it makes the milkshake, because I'm like a dark chocolate, semi-sweet person. It just makes it delicious.
I'll have to try that. I have the kefir from the same farm that you do.
What do you put in yours?
I use the raw milk from the greens.
Oh.
Yeah, from the green.
We use her eggs and we use her milk.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, I've just never thought of using the kefir for that. I use it more in different recipes and stuff.
It's good.
But I know you get good probiotic out of that. So that, that's a great way to do it. I just never thought about mixing it with my proteins.
Now you've got a new recipe.
Now I got something new to try. Yeah. I have to go home and try that today.
We really like
church.
It.
Yeah.
And we throw in some ice cubes.
Okay.
And then it just makes it like this really good milkshake.
Yeah. Beth loves to add ice cubes to hers.
We do that.
So yeah, I don't typically do that. She'll even add some cacao powder, some organic cacao powder and stuff. Yeah.
To give it a little extra more chocolate.
A little more chocolate. Yeah, because like I say, she likes the dark chocolate also. So it makes it a little darker chocolate that way.
And we take some of your vanilla and mix it with coffee in the morning and blend it up with a little bit of butter. And it makes like a latte, and it's really good too.
Okay, yeah. Well,
but you're not a coffee drinker, but...
No, I'm not, but a lot of people do like their coffee. Great way to get in some protein and fat in the mornings.
Good protein.
Yeah, good quality protein. So you feel like you're getting your amount of protein we discussed in the summit for you?
It's hard because for a woman, it's 110 to 120 grams, and that's a lot. I supplement with your Fortigen.
Yep.
And we do our protein shakes, and we usually try to have either grass-fed beef or venison for most of our meals at night.
Speaking of the venison, you and Bill gave me a bag full. Really good. We've had several different things. Actually, my youngest son, Ethan, prepared a couple of them.
Good.
And they were really, really good.
Great.
So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we've got a freezer full. We'll bring you some more.
It was good. Very tender, very tasty. So yeah, we've enjoyed that. So thank you. So what would you say your number one biggest takeaway? And I guess your number one biggest takeaway from the weekend. And number two, I know you encouraged and had other friends there already, but would you encourage even more people after experiencing it to come through?
It is well worth your time. It's well worth the information that you take away because it becomes part of your lifestyle. You understand, like when we had our consultation with you, and we had been kind of piddling with your supplements, but never had been on a regiment. When we got on the regiment and then came to the summit, everything kind of all came together. And it just makes sense. It's all those little puzzle pieces now. So the biggest takeaway is invest in yourself by doing this. And Bill and I will be with you next time.
Yeah.
We will be repeat customers. And I've been sharing this information with all of my friends.
And that's what we find is so many people come once and they want to come year after year after year.
We'll be back. And something that Bill and I have come to a point that we're now taking supplements for our deficiencies. Instead, in the beginning, we had to kind of bombard our system to get everything back to a healthy level. The foundational 4 are going to be, it's non-negotiable. That's going to be part of our daily life. Right. The bone mineral will always be part of it for me with osteoporosis. And I know now to ask for a bone mineral density test.
Right.
Because there's a difference in that, in just getting a bone density test. We'll do the vitamin D. Bill has sometimes issues with iron. So when it's low, he'll optimize with that. And something else that's really important for everybody to understand is when your blood labs come back and your doctor pats you on the back and says, well, you're in the good range, that's normal. Don't settle for that because isn't that based on the average sick American?
It is.
So who wants to be that?
Right.
So I've encouraged all my friends to be optimal. Don't just settle for, oh, you're fine. Your blood labs are good. Because that's not good. Optimal is what you're supposed to be.
Absolutely. You want them to say, we never seen anything like this. That's what I tell people. Then you might know you're where you need to be.
Yes. It makes a big difference. It does.
All right. So you have obviously changed your food. You've obviously changed your supplements. You've incorporated the right water. How about the exercise? Pillar 4. Are you exercising every day?
Yoga, we are.
Or a regular basis?
Yes, we have yoga 2 or 3 times a week at home. We have a hot room that my husband provided us with.
You have your own hot room.
We have our own hot room. We walk on other days. We do weight training. We have an elliptical and a bicycle. We get something in every day.
Great.
And that's part of it too. And rest.
Okay.
Your magnesium.
Yep.
And I was explaining this to my son, explaining what we went through the weekend. And I said, if you don't do anything else, take the magnesium. And he is sleeping deeper than he's slept in a long time.
Yeah.
And that's what we've experienced. So the magnesium, like you said, if you were on an island, you want that one, amen to that.
That's the one I'm taking for sure. If I only get one. And, I just did a podcast with a Zoom, actually. I shouldn't say a podcast, live Zoom, with a doctor, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday night of this week. And he had 60 or 70 people on there. And that's what my topic was. He wanted me to talk about the magnesium and why it was different, why mine was different, how it was sourced, why I chose the 5 salt forms. And, that was kind of the conclusion that I told him is that, everybody needs this. And most people are taking magnesium that they think is magnesium that's getting into the cells, and it's not. It's a laxative. And so we went through organic forms versus inorganic forms and did some stuff. And he was like, okay, I want to put this on my site. So after that Zoom, he actually became, he actually put it on his site to sell that magnesium so he could recommend it to all his folks. So.
Well, in the summit, you had mentioned about the big name brands that had been tested.
Yeah.
And how the toxins that are in some of the name brands that are in the regular stores that you buy, because it's cheaper, It's what they think they're supposed to be taking, or their doctor may even say, this is a brand I'd recommend.
Yeah.
I'm preaching that gospel.
Well, people don't realize that, and even the medical community doesn't realize that supplements are totally unregulated. Mm-hmm. Only the company that makes it is the only regulator of it all. Mm-hmm. And so that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is people will cut corners when there's an opportunity for a profit, I'm afraid, in a lot of cases. Your
magnesium, I actually have given it for gifts. Your whey protein, I've given it as gift because I believe in it.
Yeah.
And the digestive enzymes. Yeah. We're to a point now that we're not dealing with the reflux.
Good.
We do not have the heartburn like we had. But we still take a digestive enzyme every day, especially with our 2 heaviest meals.
Yeah, me too.
And I will continue doing that. The prebiotic and probiotic, it's all in one.
Yep.
We're going to continue with that. Like I said, the basic 4, your foundational 4.
Yeah.
They're non-negotiable.
Well, you keep talking about that. So you named 2 of them just now, the probiotic, which has the prebiotic in it.
Yeah, the
digestive enzyme.
And the magnesium.
Yep. So that's where we are.
That's good stuff.
So you, in addition to the 5 pillars, the God-given quality foods, the world's best nutritional supplements, the water from a medical device, the science-based exercise, the rest and recovery, sleep, that you've already discussed, you're also balancing your hormones, correct?
Absolutely.
With bioidentical, compounded, micronized hormones.
Yes, and that's made a huge difference.
Tell us about that, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
All those things that you experience when you go through this later in life, the brain fog, the lack of energy, and so many of my friends, when I talk to them, they're like, well, I'm fine. I'm all good. I don't have any of that. But you don't know what your body is missing because it's brain health, it's heart health. It just regulates so many things in our body. And they're just thinking, well, it's just my sex drive. And that's not it. There's so much more to it. So it's made a huge difference. Bill's, with the testosterone, and I'm on estradiol, progesterone, and testosterone.
Right. The big 3 that we talk about.
And
that everybody
needs
can benefit from at a certain age. Yes. Yeah, men and women.
Yes.
Maybe not in that exact way, but we don't typically do the estradiol for the man. But and we don't do the progesterone for the man, but we do the DHEA and the testosterone most typically for a man. So, so if you had to think about all the changes you made, you've obviously invested. You're investing in supplements. You're investing in hormones. You're investing in, better foods, better quality.
We're invested in ourselves.
But the bottom line is you're investing in your health.
That's exactly right.
So, and I find honestly for most people that rather than paying all this money to the medical system and paying all this money for cheap processed foods. I have people that are really like, I'll call them budget, like their own, they know every dime they spend. They'll tell me that they actually save money. Do you think that's possible, or do you think it's kind of a wash, or do you think, hey, it's worth it, we're spending more?
I think we're saving money on different things because when you eat like we're eating, you eat less.
Yes.
Because you're totally satiated.
Yes.
Between the protein shakes and our high protein meals at night, there's no snacking. You don't have to have all that other junk food, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think we're saving money on that end because we've cut out a lot of that junk we were buying and wasting our money on.
Right.
And another plug for your magnesium. If you've got migraines, this is the magnesium you want to take. And they're a lifesaver for me. Yeah,
so tell us about it. Remind us of your incidents of migraines before and then after.
I would have them. They would be a lot of times, I don't know if it was a food trigger. Sometimes it was barometric pressure, but they would be debilitating. Put me in the bed, hard to function. Now, when I feel this coming on, I can take 4. But what I've noticed is I don't have them as regularly anymore.
You don't even have the thought of it.
Because I'm keeping that magnesium level in my body 4 at night, every night.
Right.
Now, if I've got a little twinge, if I wake up during the night, I will take 4 extra just to knock it out.
Yeah.
And it's gone. And the magnesium, for a long time, I had gut issues.
Right.
I could not go to the bathroom on a regular basis, taking Senecot, taking all kinds of different things to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that issue anymore.
That's awesome.
So I have to attribute that to not only a diet, my exercise, the water, because I drink about my body weight in water. That's my goal every day.
Right.
The right kind of water.
Right.
And it's just kind of gone away. I don't have the issues that I dealt with all of my life. You have irritable bowel. Take this.
Yeah.
Eat fiber. Do this. None of it ever worked.
Well, I always talk about what IBS or irritable bowel syndrome means is we have no clue.
That's right.
So we just kind of lump it in, tell you have this. We don't know how to fix it.
That's right. And it's easier.
So you think about all the things you're doing for that, though. You talked about the magnesium.
Yep.
But you've talked a lot about the digestive enzyme and the probiotic and the water. So you're doing a lot of things to help regulate the gut, the movement of waste out. I mean, all those things. It's great for your kidneys, right? All the water. So all those things are beneficial. But the fact that you don't have debilitating migraines anymore.
That's huge.
And I believe that in the studies, 86% of all migraines are eliminated with the right salt forms of magnesium, which is what I put in the product, right? So
it works.
I hear it a lot, but it's certainly good to hear you remind us of that because that's such a big deal for people. It seems more common in women, in my experience over the years, or more women come to me for that issue than men. But we do have some men. So yeah, and it works almost universally, and that's what we talk about is take it regularly at night. At the onset of a headache, immediately take it, or the onset of the first signs of any kind of headache coming on. And usually we can head them off. And like you said, some people go, well, I just don't even have those issues anymore. Like I don't even think about it.
I don't.
So
now that remind me, 350 different uses in the body for magnesium.
Correct. Positive functions is the way I say it. Uses, same difference. Yeah. In the body for magnesium. It literally, it controls so many things, but the number one thing that it does is helps us produce energy. And which is crazy because we use it to help people sleep and people don't get that. But
if you take it during the day, you're not going to.
No, it won't make you sleepy during the day, but in the evenings, it will relax you and it gives your body the energy that it needs while you're sleeping to do all the things that the body needs to do while we sleep. And I tell people, you really want more energy while you're asleep than you do while you're awake because the body is, literally cleaning up all the cells. I mean, melatonin, when we sleep, causes the glial cells of the brain to shrink by a third. They actually get a third smaller. And then, we have a system where the body comes through and cleans up old, bad brain cells. And that's going on throughout the body.
Right.
But obviously cleaning up the brain cells, being able to think clearly the next day, that's how we make memory. That's how we actually learn something, is when we sleep. We read it while we're awake or look at it while we're awake or somebody teaches us while we're awake. But the things you remember from the summit were actually when you slept on Saturday and Sunday night, to be quite honest with you.
And we've changed our bedtime routine.
Okay.
It's like we're kids again. We have a bedtime that we want to be in bed. It's like if we're at somebody's house, like it's time to go home, we have to go to bed.
Right.
We're eliminating the blue light.
Yeah.
We're using the blue light blocking glasses, like you mentioned.
Yep.
The cabinet in our bedroom is completely closed. The television does not come on.
Right.
We have moved some of the little night lights that were in the hallway.
That's great.
So it was a dark room, but it is even a darker room. And we are easily getting 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep a night.
Awesome.
And it makes a difference.
It does. And having that routine and having that time that you shoot for just resets the circadian rhythm. That's one of the problems with this change in time, right? It kind of throws off our circadian rhythm. And I can't quote the study or remember the research that was done. But actually, this spring forward, I want to say that the next day, the rate of heart attacks is higher than average.
Wow.
Because people have lost an hour of sleep. And don't quote me on that, but there is some research out there that shows that, but I can't remember where it's from or what the percentages were. But it does show us how important sleep really, really is, to get that good, at least 6 hours. But you said y'all are getting more like 7 to 8, which is awesome. Yeah. So that's great.
So when summertime comes, we're going to be in the bed when it's still daylight, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We have a dark room.
Yeah, there you go. As long as you can make it dark, the body doesn't know the difference and will produce the melatonin.
Between my sleep machine and my sleep mask.
Yeah. The fact that you've been able to make all these changes is quite remarkable. It's really not that hard, like you and I discussed.
Nope,
it's just having the knowledge to do it, and which is what we try to do. I try to do with consults. I try to do at the summit, which is what OptiU is all about, is teaching people.
Something I need to encourage everybody that's listening out there in podcast land, if you've not taken hold of your own health journey, it's not too late. My only big regret is I didn't do it 10 years ago when we first met y'all.
Yeah.
But you can still do it. It's not too late. It's actually one of the best things you're going to do for yourself, and you'll see the results. They're slow at first. And a lot of times they're slow, but it's such a good journey to be on.
Yeah.
If people can, make a consultation with you, because that was our eye opener. Bring your blood labs, do the in-body, take your advice.
Yeah.
And the research, one of the big things from the summit, the research and the studies that you quoted from, the statistics you read to us about all the things that are happening to us that we could be in charge of if we would take control and not rely on our insurance, not rely on the medical community to be the know-all. Like a friend of mine said one time, we're doctors, we practice medicine. Practice is it.
Yeah.
And that's really always stuck with me. Yeah, they're just practicing, because sometimes they're just guessing.
Yeah.
I know what we're doing, and it's working.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully you avoid any of the major issues that you would ever need the medical system for. You can use them for the things they're good for and avoid them for the things that maybe they're not as efficient at, right?
That's exactly right.
That's our goal.
That's it.
Thank you so much,
You're
Lydia.
welcome, Billy.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.